Hello and welcome to another stream. We are here live talking about NFTs, Web3. Of course, tonight is the opening night. Do we call it opening night? I guess so, for the NFL. So this is a little bit of your pre-gamer. Hope you guys enjoy the games a little bit later, and hope you enjoy the stream because some pretty good news. We got a CryptoPunk that's going for 1.48 million United States dollars. Kind of crazy, 620 ETH. Apparently, this person was listing a little bit lower. There was also a pretty big loan offer for it. I've seen some rumors. This happened like relatively recently, 4 p.m. So yeah, about 2 hours ago, where there was a couple people saying that the identity of the person of this was something of notoriety, or if the rumors are true, it'll be a pretty big deal. I don't know what the rumors are, but again, listen, a little bit of speculation back on the timeline, not too bad. Today's sale once again proves that NFTs are far from dead and are still in demand among collectors. Many of them are simply waiting for the right moment to dive back into the NFT market, but the current market uncertainty is holding them back for now. All I can say is that if you believe in the success of NFTs, you should buy your favorite NFTs regardless of market sentiment or floor price. All you need is conviction and long-term vision, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so at the show here, we've always been kind of, pro NFT for sure. But I think that if you go out and you talk to people that are already within the space, the general notion from the few conversations that I've had recently is like people just don't really have liquidity to be able to do anything. And that's where the FTX liquidity injection, I think, could play a big role. These different airdrops. Yesterday, it was announced for the, I think it's called Grass Protocol, that you were able to check what your airdrop allocation was. Now, for anybody that doesn't know exactly what Grass was, basically, it was a platform, I guess, or protocol where you downloaded an extension and it used your unused internet and it gave you points over time. And I believe it was to like help train AI. There's a couple of funny jokes around it. But I don't think we know what like the value of it's going to come out. We have Magic Eden and the token airdrop for that. A lot of different ecosystems and a lot of ones that you don't even know. Now, you probably do remember Jason Derulo. Guys, remember when he was all over the timeline? We played that video of him saying, guys, I'm so sorry that the original thing went bad. I'm gonna put everything in here. Well, he's been completely gone. Zach XBT, the sleuth of Web3, saying Jason Derulo has not posted about his Jason token on X since July. Wonder what happened to I am committed to this space long term. I want to see everyone win in our community, and I want to grow not just our family, but all of crypto. See, it's funny because when we take these, it's almost like a copy and pasta for all the different celebrities, right? Because it's buzzwords. It's kind of the same thing where when we've talked about a lot of collections, when you mention AI, the consumer crypto, making it easy, hiding the tech, oh, we're building a bunch of fun games. Virtually every single collection out there has that same verbiage. And so it's just funny when you compare and contrast, and everybody says like the same thing, just depends on what sector. Yesterday, Jason promoted another Tron meme coin and deleted it shortly after. Shame on all the influencers who promoted him and thought this time would be different from the 15 plus scams he promoted in the past. Not a great look at all. So Kid Arcade, I saw him make this post and I commented when he was live streaming on YouTube, and he's like, oh no, this is like a joke. Like, I don't really like Ikomi or Omi. And I was like, all right, well, what's going on? So for anybody that doesn't know, this is a token that was very heavily linked to Disney. And the reason for that is because it is a part of Vivi, which we've highlighted before, where they have comics, a lot of things that are, bigger IPs and brands for it. And I thought, hey, let me just look up and see if I can just basically find out what Omi is. And so just on Google here, the Omi token is used as a medium of exchange on the platform. The token is a GO20 token built on the Go chain blockchain. I guess that's what Vivi is on. Never even knew that. A scalable, decentralized blockchain that supports smart contracts and decentralized applications. And from Vivi's support's official site, it says the Omi token is an in-app utility token intended for use in the Vivi app. Using or holding Omi will grant token holders and Vivi collectors various perks, rewards, and advantages within the ecosystem. Now, I've had a few people bring up Omi in the past. Sorry, you guys can't even see that. And I've not really looked into it too much. I remember the earlier days when everything was going crazy about the Disney references and this, that, the other thing. But there is a lot of tokens out there. Is that one going to do well over time? Potentially. But we'll see. Physical X Digital, Austin from Doodles here at NFT NYC. I had the fortunate opportunity to sit down with Claynosaurus, Forgotten Runes, and CoinFun to discuss the Doodles GTM playbook. And so here's kind of a quick 1-minute clip from that.
Living in a world where products can have a call to action is something I think we all really are trying to take advantage of, and this physical to digital bridging, it was probably like a buzzword for a while, but it's really sticky. If you can go from having a one-time experience, with an audience to
notice
making
the
them
watch
a real community member
and the brand.
We've been trying to do that with all of our products. So last night at our event, everyone that came in got an IYK card, and not only is that a nice physical memento, and it's got our logo on it, but if you tap it, you were able to actually go through a sign-in flow and collect a digital poster that we released yesterday. And so we're looking for those touch points everywhere with the watch. We released digital version that had different rarity, and so not only do you get the physical, but you have an opportunity to get a digital that could be more rare, and oftentimes people want to spend more money on the digital than the physical because they can flaunt it in front of everyone and what have you. And so it's been a way for us to go deeper, to bring people into our world and bring them into the studio, our first party product. It's been a way for us to tell more engaging stories, and just bring people into the ecosystem.
All right, so there's a little bit of clip from Doodles. This one's kind of cool. From Bored Apes, they got a Bored Ape Beamer Club. BMW and BAYC are partnering to create a one-of-one ape car with one Bored Ape Yacht Club community artist. Listen, are we bringing back Schiller Paints? Hell yeah, brother. 5 BAYC community artists were selected by BMW and BYC to reimagine the exterior of a unique 2025 model that will be revealed at Ape Fest Lisbon. Apes and Mutants can now cast their vote, one per wallet, in the link below, and decide which artist visions will come to life. So I've not clicked this. Hopefully we don't actually have to sign in to be able to see all of these different variations of them. There's applause, view profile. Okay, so if we click view profile, what exactly does this look like? Statement of vision, visual. Okay, so I thought these were going to be a lot more branded as BYC. But this is just kind of art design, I guess. Although it's got a little bit of the trippy aspect. I don't know. That one doesn't really scream like BAYC to me. That was artist number 1. If we go over to number 2, to the visuals once again. This one's a little bit looser. I'd say, okay, this feels maybe a little bit more BAYC branding, but also can't really tell what it is, especially from the side. Looks like it's just kind of random images thrown together. Not, listen, okay, maybe 3 is the winner. This feels like Shrek, when they're pick number 2, my lord, for Lord Farquaad, when they're picking the princesses with the mirror. Hey, listen, we love the birds. This one, if you're a Hawaiian shirt fan, that one's definitely got the vibes. So number 3 for me, at least, is in the lead. Going for number 4. This one's kind of interesting. I feel like, again, it doesn't really give off a huge BAYC vibe. Just some extra colors with it. Artist 5. Wait, Artist 5 has got the actual ape in the background there, if that's what they chose. Not to get my hopes up too high. It kind of feels like a Call of Duty gun skin, you know what I mean? Like a camouflage. So I think we're going with number 3. Maybe we'll vote on that a little bit later, but either way, super cool. Matt Hunter sharing this on the timeline. I guess Minecraft is doing a movie, which is super interesting, where, the video game industry, what's going to happen with the whole AI, what are big players? We're going to have a Fortnite one next. What's going on? Obviously, the mention of Ready Player 2 and what that could bring. Maybe there's a whole bunch of genres that are about video games coming up. That'd be kind of cool. FFV saying people... Excuse me. Sorry, I just ate. Apparently, I need to drink more water. People into NFTs should support other people into NFTs. It really should be that simple. And I kind of agree with this, but at the same time, it is still there feels like there's almost no reason to be fans of multiple things right now, because for argument's sake, right? Because that sounds kind of like harsh, but a bunch of people are doing merch. What's the difference between the merch? Okay, like the design, a logo for it. Okay, there's different people that are building a game. Some games you're going to have fun with. Some of them you're not going to. I mean, what's bringing everybody together? We need something that's back in the space that's bringing everybody together. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll hopefully have something relatively soon. But generally speaking, yeah, it's like, hey, cool, you're in NFTs, nice. But then it gets some debates of what you want more, and it's, I don't know. I agree with this, but I feel like just knowing how everybody is, I don't know if it's going to happen. The irony, in all honesty, play Hearthstone needs your money in order to keep the game going. True, this was a great graphic. Again, we've seen the huge notion on the timeline of like Hearthstone versus Parallel, and somebody made this graphic that was just like, hey, here's all the players, and all of your money goes to Hearthstone, and that's it. Once it's there, that's it. However, with the new games, you can still support the teams that are building different things, but also own your assets, be able to sell them, do whatever you want with it. And speaking of Parallel, I noticed this where they said Prime chips that were part of the Parallel TCG Planetfall drop are now redeemable on the Echelon website for Prime denominations of 50, 100, and 500. And I was like, hold on a minute. Echelon Prime is $6.74. So if you happen to mint one of these, which scrolling on here, Josh Ong, we had somebody who was asking what is a Prime chip, and I have no idea either. But it was a rare pull from the Planetfall packs that were redeemable for a cache of Prime. So again, you go to the store, right? Like traditionally, buy a pack of Magic the Gathering, and that's it. There's usually nothing super special except for like a card within it. But I guess for some of the packs digitally, they had a bunch of these tokens within it. And if you happen to have gotten one of the ones that were of 500, that's $3,375. Sheesh! That is absolutely insane. RWA Day. X account highlighting something kind of insane. Again, we've been doing the RWA segments podcast down in the description below if you guys are wanting to check that out. But Mantra Chain is tokenizing $500 million of assets for Dubai-based real estate developer MAG Group, a prominent UAE developer boasting a portfolio valued at $5 billion. $5 billion. Kind of insane. Excuse me. But at the same time, we have to remember that there is somebody that needs to be able to figure out the tokenization background to be able to take these assets on chain. Because a lot of these people, they have these assets, but there's still, different variations. And maybe Mantra Chain is going to be one of the biggest one for real world assets. But there's going to be a huge competition for that, similarly to how we see generally with blockchains right now. And then even more specifically, it's more relatable, the battle between Blur, OpenSea, X2, Y2, Magic Eden, et cetera, right? All these different players, everybody is fighting for their share of the market. So from Korea Blockchain Week, BOIC CEO, Gargamel, here's a video clip from him. It's a minute 22.
What it was like getting back into the driver's seat, and sort of what were some of the changes that you made since inheriting that role again?
Yeah, I co-founded Yuga 3.5 years ago, and just stepped back in as CEO about 6 months ago. And really, the only way I know how to run a company is to be extremely hands-on in product all the time. And it was a weird sensation with, after the tremendous success of our first year as a company, we had just felt like there was a bit of imposter syndrome settling in, and felt like we needed to bring in, mommy and daddy to show us how to really run a company. And I think we lost something special in doing that. And really, as I've stepped back in and changing the way that we work, a lot of it comes down to shipping much more quickly, iterating, and I think Yuga, when it's at its best, it functions almost more like a product studio. It's a creative place. It moves fast, and when we don't do that, and we function more in this kind of Web2 corporate way, it it doesn't work for anybody.
Very interesting that they continually bring up the fact that they didn't enjoy when they brought in the, I guess, like corporate heads, the Daniel Allegre phase. I've noticed repeatedly on some of these bigger things, and I mean, it's awesome that they acknowledge it, but it's very interesting that there seems to be this definite undertone of, hey, yeah, well, we thought what was best is bringing in these other players, and that was absolutely not the case. So there was a pretty wild announcement that happened the other day where I kind of brushed it off, but I feel like it's super important, and I've been thinking about it more and more, to be honest. And so let's go over this and we'll play a clip right after. We're proud to announce our new partnership with Ripple to integrate Ripple custody into Futureverse. This collaboration will enhance the security and scalability of our self-developed Otto blockchain, enabling compliant KYC verified access to DeFi and ensuring cryptocurrencies are securely received and stored before minting. The integration of Ripple custody with its industry-leading security strengthens the protection of our customers' digital asset. Jeff McDonald, founder of Otto Blockchain and chief customer officer at Futureverse, which a lot of people didn't realize that was what his role is at Futureverse. And then there was a wild stat here. With the crypto custody market set to reach $10 trillion by 2030, we are confident and excited to introduce Ripple's custody cutting-edge solution to keep our assets safe and help our community thrive in the open metaverse. Now, to be able to do anything with Otto right now, like the kind of TLDR that I'm probably going to botch here is that you have to have like an Ethereum wallet, but then you'll also need to download the Polygon wallet extension, and then it's like connected in a way, but you have to use this token called Plug and burn it, and then you will get this Catalyst token. And the way that it kind of works is the more Catalyst token that's minted, there's like a threshold, and the Kata token produces a Otto token, and that's why it's called Otto blockchain. But, let's just hypothetically say it's 5,000 Otto to mint a Catalyst. At a certain point of that threshold, it's going to bump up to 10,000 Otto to be able to mint a Catalyst. So together, they kind of, they ladder each other up, and it's a very interesting setup for the tokenization. And a lot of people just haven't looked at it at all. And obviously, it was before Plug, where kind of like for Root, it was SensNet. And so this is something that I'm like, okay, this announcement seems rather huge. But then Crypto Eddie was on with the guys from On the Chain, and this is like a quick 3-minute video. But I thought this was super interesting because this was like just the way that she seems excited about it. And I think this was before the announcement was officially made. But I'll play the clip and you can just, let you guys think about it.
Reverse, guys. There's something going on there. There is so much development and building and emphasis and money and focus and new things happening under the umbrella of Futureverse, which is with the Root network, which has been deeply integrated with the XRP ledger. I'm telling you, there's a lot more.
Well, the custody was a big part of that.
Yeah, that's just one of the announcements, but I think you're going to see that is part of their grand strategy, and I haven't quite figured out. Of course, I love to play armchair strategist with them, and I do it with SBI all the time. It's kind of my own little fun thing to do. Like, who's the next company they're going to acquire? Where are they going to, put their efforts in? But there's something, I haven't quite figured it out yet.
I will say this, when you work for I work for a software company, and we ship product like nobody else. I've never seen somebody in the space like Futureverse that ships and ahead of schedule, on time, and blows minds every single time. It's one of the things, Aaron and the crew over there, they do a really good job of. And it was really cool to see that picture of Aaron and Brad Garlinghouse saying, hey, we meet face to face again. We get to have this conversation again. And it was great. We had Aaron on here twice, and it was so phenomenal to meet him in person, and Scotty as well, of having all those conversations. Just to actually meet, but you might be onto something. There's something to brew there, right? There's something going on.
So if you're into researching, I'll give you a lead or a hint.
That's your job.
Somebody in the audience might be really into it. Otto blockchain.
I think she mispronounced it, but that's okay.
OTT
for Otto.
Otto. I've always called it Otto. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's I'm pronouncing it with a long O, but I think
Otto. Okay.
Otto. Maybe it's Otto. I'll have to ask. You want to, there is
right.
I think there's a big reveal that's going to come out. Monica just
Which
talked about
the
it.
Ripple announcement for the custody.
Is that it
You can
there?
go on to their, yeah. Yep, that's it.
Yep.
So I think it's public knowledge. I don't think this is any secret. That is Aaron McDonald's brother, Jeff.
All right.
Okay.
I like the little. I love the branding. I can tell you that. It's always a good
Oh,
sign.
do you?
Cute.
Go,
It's a
go
nice
to
logo.
their, go
I like
to
their
their
colors,
team
yeah.
go to
Right.
the team pictures.
Okay, I haven't really listened beyond that, so I don't know. Yeah, Armando, I thought that line was kind of interesting for the ahead of schedule, because I'm trying to think, and I don't know what in reference to that is. Like, I don't know if Chip is an investor or anything like that, but I don't know, because I don't think we've ever been told like, hey, this is like way ahead of schedule. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely been some cool stuff, but that line isn't. But the point being from that, and thanks for tuning in, by the way. It's just, it's super interesting that we have Ripple officially saying, hey, we're a part of this, and like the onboarding is not really like there in terms of like ease for most people, and so could be an interesting opportunity to look a little bit more into that. Okay, so staying on topic here, Dip Collector posted this interesting piece that was, so first of all, he's talking about his TTK Guild. So again, if you are somebody that is looking at the Third Kingdom, we'll probably have Dip and Matt on at some point to have a lowdown, and if you guys want to listen to the session that I did with Believins regarding Game Buy Insights, check that back out on the most recent upload on the YouTube channel. That one was a banger. We go into like more than just, if you don't care about like the app or anything right now and you just want his general opinions, I thought it was super interesting to hear his POV on things, and I timestamped the videos for that. Anyway, we did send in some questions regarding this in the hope to get answers that would clear things up for everybody. So for anybody that's playing the Third Kingdom, let's break it down right quick. What is a Surrealscape? Surrealscapes are a collection of resource-rich biomes and your very own slice of the Third Kingdom. Together with prisms, these collectibles unlock the gameplay and harvesting opportunities shaped by user actions. Now, as I'm saying this, just as like as an aside, if you don't know what the Third Kingdom is, it's like a strategy simulation game. So you have these like land plots, you can put prisms on it, and from the gameplay, it looks more like a DeFi yield type app versus kind of like this big game, and that's maybe just because they haven't shown a whole like breadth of depth within the gameplay, but it is more kind of like a passive game, Clash of Clans, where you kind of earn stuff over time passively. In episode 1, you can apply the biome of the Surrealscapes you own to your origin island and stack them to increase the resource production rate and the number of prisms you can deploy. More features will be introduced in future episodes, including increased mycelium collection rate. Once you apply a biome to your origin island, it can't be changed, at least for now. We plan to allow biome changes in future updates. So reading some chats and whatnot, it sounds like when you originally pick a biome for your island, that is going to take the shape of that biome. Now you can still add the additional pieces to it to expand, but it sounds like just pay attention to what the first one is if you care about that aspect. So we could prepare for the best start possible when TTK starts on the Origin Islands. The answer that we received was as clear as we hoped it would be. So, hi, the team have provided the following information. Choosing your biome. When selecting the biome for your Origin Island, you're choosing the visual environment. This choice affects the look of your island, but doesn't impact gameplay. The size of the Surrealscape, example 1x1, 2x2, doesn't matter in this context. Stacking Surrealscapes. You can stack Surrealscapes of any biome, regardless of the biome you've chosen for your origin island. Additionally, you can stack Surrealscapes of any size, so you have the flexibility in how you can enhance your island. Eternal Prisms on Origin Island. Yes, you can use Eternal Prisms on your Origin Island. Okay, cool. We share this knowledge with the community in the hopes that it will help you all to have a great start on your TTK journey. So we highlighted a little bit earlier about how the space doesn't really have anything to connect each other with, right? Like truthfully, once that common interest is gone, we gone too, baby. But it's cool to see where they are having that approach, where Walker World, Doodles, Deadfellas, Fluff, Cool Cats, Pudgy Penguins. We got a little bit of everybody within there, and I'm going to assume, as they're talking about episode 1, episode 2, etc., it is going to expand and offer other collections And just curious what like kind of the scope of this can be. Because again, the metaverse, everybody talks about interoperability, but what the hell do we want interoperability for? Fubar with a really, this is a banger. Announcing one-click clusters. Users face a massive burden. Multiple chains, dozens of wallets, hundreds of apps. Crypto natives grit their teeth and deal with ecosystem fragmentation, but even they face a problem how to get started. So you can see in here, it's like a new thing where you can generate different wallets for different chains. You can have like an existing one and link things to it. I love the look of this so far. Clusters fixes this with the universal identity layer. One easy name that covers all your wallets on all the chains. It's already integrated across block explorers, wallets, and apps on your favorite ecosystems. Spinning up a new address is a huge headache. Clusters fixes this. And you can see where there's like a whole bunch of different ones right here where it's all kind of the one, but then it shows everything else and what the other chains are that show it. It's annoying to open MetaMask, type in your password, click through the screen. So remember that account 37 is your SocialFi address, while account 23 is for honorary NFTs. And figuring out which Chrome extension to download for Tron or even Bitcoin is just unbearable. Clusters fixes this with one-click address generation, automatic backup, and seamless private key export. Existing solutions like self-custody wallets add accounts are too easy to lose track of, and embedded wallets like Privy don't offer clear naming or organization. Here's how one-click clusters work. Create a cluster. Like one-click cluster, fresh addresses for 8+ chain types are automatically spun up, named, and verified, all done. Pre-existing cluster holders can also find this button on their edit page. So, why are we bringing this up? Well, first of all, because you might end up using this at some point. But number two is when we actually talk about, hey, how do we make things easier? How are things going to be better for the new users that come into the space? It's things like this. There are innovative things that are happening. Even if there is some negativity out there, realize, hey, this is not bad. And so I'm going to pivot that to this in just a second. But Forgotten Rooniverse is one of the Web3 games that are out right now. And their combat system is something where, just to highlight again, is they have a creature and you get like 4 different abilities, but you can work as like a party to defeat it. And it's really, really cool because people are putting out these massive guides about, first of all, you need a strong team, level 20 and well-built setup are essential for this golden lady boss, going over specific things with crit. And I'm seeing a ton of guides regarding the game coming out on the timeline. And I think that that is really, really cool. Now, for the clusters thing, this is going to sound kind of weird, but I realized as Rooniverse is on Ronin that when I logged in for the first time yesterday for the game, it was like, hey, you have a daily donut, and it's on the Ronin network. And so from my user standpoint, I might have mucked this up, but it was like, okay, connect the wallet. It gave you basically every wallet in the book, and then you could just click whatever, and it would be like, okay, so now you're like connected to Ronin through your EVM wallet, or at least it was showing that that was the chain. And then it was asking for you to pay like, I don't know, like a quarter of a cent, whatever it is for the gas fee on Ronin. But obviously, like, I didn't have any Ronin. And so I'm like, okay, how in theory am I going to go out and do this right now? And so I like just typed in how to get like Ronin in your wallet. And it was like, oh, use this like Axie Infinity Bridge, which was just like the name of it, but I think it's called like the Ronin Bridge right now. But then you go to connect to it, and you can only do it if you have a Ronin wallet. So it's like the game let me connect through like my traditional setup and whatever, but then to actually get funds on it, I need to go through a Ronin Bridge, or I'm assuming there's like third-party apps or whatever that I could go out and find that are out there too. But it's like there's still these like minor barriers that are like inconvenience where I like, son of a gun. But anyway, co-founder Bear Steak. Same session where we had the Doodles guy a second ago. This is what Bear Snake had to say. Quick 30-second clip.
It will take a while, but like slowly but surely, they seem insignificant now. But these rails and these systems that we're building, I think will get adopted over time, and we'll look back now and be like, God, like how fun was it that we were actually like tinkering, like building.
I think when you
stuff.
say like no one's proven the model, it's like it's one of the most exciting things about being there, like with you guys and with everybody here, and like you know, with Apple Music, it was the same thing for you. It's like uncharted territory is so fun.
Oh, I wouldn't have anything
and it's
special,
special,
in the
right?
formative days, right? It will take
Uncharted
a while, but,
territory.
slowly...
I actually like that a lot. Guys, we are in uncharted territory. But just in, Mastercard launches crypto debit card in Europe, allowing users to spend from self-custodial wallets at 100 million merchants. That is super crazy. I think if we ever get to a point where like people are, you know, Not your like random person that has some kind of like a specific setup of like, oh yeah, like we're paying rent and our groceries in crypto. When these kind of like mainstream things just get adopted more and more, and it allows you to choose what you want, right? Because for an example, with the Ape coin and the Bape, the clothing brand, they have like a partnership and they announced that all of the merch is going to be available like within Ape coin. You're like, okay, well, do I want to spend, you know, whatever it is, $100 worth of Ape coin on merch, or would I rather spend, you know, flat dollars that aren't really going up or down for it? Or what if I think that, hey, this one's going down, I can take advantage. It gives all these different options for payments, and it's really, really weird because it does feel kind of like we're in a funky territory. We're in a very funky territory where does everybody just accept a whole bunch of different currencies? Because right now it's probably just one wherever you live. Love the start button on the Flow website. Listen, IP, intellectual property, Disney, La Liga, NBA, all on Flow. If you had different Web3 brands on there, Cyberkongs, Axie Infinity, Bored Apes, does it have the same effect to the mainstream as these three? I don't think so. Still agree, it's going to play a huge part. But for Web3 IP, I thought this was actually hilarious. If you've ever seen those people that go around on like festivals doing caricatures, Spencer here got one of the, I guess like Pudgy variations of that. And it just, I thought this one was cool, so I wanted to share that with you guys quick. Also, Casino.eth getting a new bid, $52,000. Who's building an app? Then they want Casino.eth for it. So from Blockchain Magazine, I'm going to read super quickly here. They have some highlights regarding the challenges for Web3 games entering Asia's traditional gaming market. Regulatory hurdles and government policies. One of the most significant barriers to Web3 gaming in Asia is regulatory uncertainty, which is odd, right? Because generally speaking, we're all, hey, Asia's super pro crypto, right? So let's read on. In countries like China, the government has imposed strict regulations on both the gaming and cryptocurrency sectors. China's restrictions on cryptocurrency trading and blockchain-based games make it difficult for Web3 games to operate legally. Similarly, South Korea has imposed strict rules around crypto trading, and Japan has a complex regulatory framework for crypto-based businesses. These restrictions pose a challenge for Web3 developers looking to deploy their games in these regions, especially if their games depend on NFTs or tokenized economies. So they list a couple of solutions. Listen, they've got the problems and the solutions. This is crazy. For compliance, Web3 gaming companies must work with local regulators and legal teams to ensure their games comply with country-specific regulations. Now, what's kind of interesting, and going back to like the Otto part a second ago, where you have that KYC, you have the connection, it's with Ripple, et cetera, how do you kind of just do like a foul swoop across the entire space of being like, hey, this is within that specific? Can you go through one platform, or do you actually have to do it all individually? That'll be interesting to watch. Localized versions. Creating non-crypto versions of games or offering optional blockchain elements could help Web3 games enter markets like China, where strict bans exist on crypto and NFT transactions. Partnerships. Collaborating with established gaming companies or platforms in Asia like Tencent, hello, Futureverse, Gummy, or Nexon could help navigate regulatory frameworks more easily. Blockchain adoption and infrastructure. Although the blockchain ecosystem is growing globally, blockchain adoption in Asia varies by country. In China, the government has embraced blockchain technology, but banned cryptocurrency trading. Meanwhile, countries like South Korea and Japan have embraced both, but the adoption of blockchain-based games remains niche compared to traditional gaming. For Web3 games to gain traction in Asia, they must focus on improving accessibility and educating players about the benefits of blockchain gaming. So the solutions, which everybody says, we got the best in, I don't know, bro. Seamless onboarding. Web3 games must simplify the onboarding process by integrating easy-to-use crypto wallets, reducing the barrier for entry for players unfamiliar with blockchain technology. Cross-chain interoperability. Web3 games should consider supporting multiple blockchain networks to appeal to a wider audience, particularly in countries with varying levels of blockchain adoption. Community engagement and education, hosting workshops, webinars, and educational content to help Asian gamers understand the benefits of blockchain gaming could build trust and drive adoption. So I'm trying to think of like where I am in the world. And if I saw in the newspaper, if I saw, or heard on the radio where they were talking about, hey guys, do you want to learn about like Web3? Come to this building. And 5 o'clock on Saturday, we have a teacher that's coming in to talk about it. How many people do we actually think are going to show up to that? It's a genuine question. It's kind of interesting whether they're saying like help educate Asian gamers. Well, how many of those people are going to be like open to that idea in the first place? Listen, this is like, hey guys, we're going to have like cookies, snacks. We're going to feed you if you guys show up. This will be bang. Remember, free food. You get some education, buy your stuff. Hell yeah. Skepticism toward play to earn models. Okay, so this is interesting because of the debate that we're having with parallel Hearthstone players, people not liking play to earn. I think, again, a huge stigma over ones that were huge at a point. Like, as an example, for heavy metal, people were making hundreds to thousands of dollars a day selling to people that wanted to get votes on the leaderboard, because, again, the higher the votes that you got on the leaderboard, the rarer the components were. And I think there was something a little special for the people that got first. So people were making a ton of money, but then it just stopped when the game kind of fell flat. But it was really, really good at the time, but there's still that stigma to it. While play-to-earn games like Axie Infinity have garnered global attention, many Asian gamers remain skeptical of the long-term value and sustainability of such models. The perception of Web3 games as being primarily speculative or focused on monetary gain rather than fun could alienate traditional gamers who value entertainment and skill development. Solutions: hybrid models. Web3 games should focus on delivering a fun-first experience while offering the option for players to engage with play-to-earn mechanics if they choose. By prioritizing gameplay over earning, these games can appeal to traditional gamers. Okay, thanks. Tips. What the hell is that? Sustainable economies. Developers need to create balance in game economies that do not collapse due to inflation or excess token issuance. Yes, this is super interesting. Transparent communication about the game's economic design will also help build the trust among it. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but like high quality game design and user experience. Yep, strategies for Web3 games to succeed in Asia. Going over all that other stuff. But it's interesting when we go over this, and it is uncharted territory. I love that term. I think that's something that anytime something goes wrong, the answer, we're in uncharted territory. That's it. The book is done. The support ticket is closed. End of story. But that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. You guys are about an hour out from the NFL opening night. Hope you enjoyed, Armando. Appreciate you coming on by and saying hi in the chat. And I hope you guys enjoy.